Hello, and thank you for joining us here at the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast. My name is David Shockley, and we have today...
Jimbo Slice.
And...
Shawnzy.
And this is the podcast where we talk about things and stuff and words and such. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here, both of you. I really do appreciate having you.
Of course.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure.
And of course, we have Shawnzy as our special guest today. He is a great musician. He did the intro and outro song for us, and we're really, really appreciative him for doing that.
Sounds awesome.
Yo, I appreciate it, man. Honestly, like, it just came about so fast. Dave just made the call and was like, yo, I'm looking for some music for the intro. And I was like, all right, well, let me think of something relative to what I think a podcast should be like. And
right.
I just thought of something. I was like, yo, it kind of sounds like late nighty a little bit.
Yeah.
Like some Tonight Show.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it.
Appreciate it, man.
He's a professional. You make a call. It's like McDonald's, where it's like you think McDonald's is gonna be bad, and it's like I know it's gonna be quick, but it's just gonna be whatever. But it's like McDonald's if McDonald's was a 5-star restaurant. Right. It's like he came in, he got it, it happened, it's great, everybody wins.
Yo, man. I'm loving it.
So traditions start pretty easily here because we've only had one episode. We're going to take a shot of vodka because...
Correction, you two will be taking the shot of vodka.
Yeah, exactly. So Jimmy, he was really, really cool, and he did the shot with us the first time, even though he doesn't drink liquor at all. And so we're going to give him a break this time, and we're going to let him sit this first one out.
I also have to drive later, too, so...
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You have to drive. So we're going to take a shot of vodka because fuck it.
Might as well, man.
Right?
Please drink responsibly.
Cheers.
Okay, I'm awake now.
Welcome back to Earth. How was Mars? Did you bring back t-shirts for us?
I got some plutonium. That's about it.
Now we can kill Superman's cousin.
Oh, shit.
With plutonium.
Damn, we had to go there.
No, wait. What's I'm a terrible nerd. What's he's kryptonite.
Kryptonite, yeah.
I was like, fuck, is he actually plutonium? What's the thing in Avatar? What's the metal there? It's like a stupid name. Oh, unobtainium.
That is dumb.
That's the dumbest name. Unobtainium.
Seriously. You just fucked up the entire movie for me.
Yeah.
They announced like a couple different sequels. Like I think they announced at least 2 and 3, maybe even Avatar 4. I swore I saw that like a couple weeks ago.
That's how you know that like they're really thinking outside the box when you're releasing the trailer for the 4th movie when you only have 1 movie out.
Seriously.
Oh my god.
Like that timeline that they have for the Marvel movies that are coming out, like how do they know that many movies are coming out?
Right? Well, it's because they're all intertwined. And honestly, I'm actually glad you brought this up with the fucking... I keep hitting the fucking mics. I spent all this time setting it up, and I just fuck it up the whole time.
But might as well, man. Just fuck everything up.
I'm glad you brought up like the Marvel thing so early because I don't have that much fucking time. I just don't.
Seriously.
For the movies or for like the comics?
No, not for the well, no, I mean for like the movies and the TV shows.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what do you have? You have Arrow, Iron Fist, Flash, Luke Cage,
Jessica Jones.
Dude, you're just on Netflix right now. We're not even in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, yo, these are shows.
Yeah, these are TV shows, and they're all intertwined. All the shows are intertwined with each other, and they intertwine with the movies. And then you get into the big budget movies, and it's like, I just want to watch a dude in a costume kick some ass. And have like a moral question that he has to answer. That's it. That's all I want. And they're making it huge for me, which is awesome, right? Yeah. It's cool that they're doing it. But it's also, I'm 25 years old. I got shit to do. I can't sit around and binge shit all
I know
day.
what you mean. Yeah. Well, I guess on the same note, though, they're probably targeting more than just the 20s demographic. They're probably like, we want to get the kids involved, too. The kids have more time. Of course. You know, the 12-year-olds that just love Superman and the Hulk to death.
I would just show them Jessica Jones first. And then that way I don't have to waste any more fucking
time. Daredevil, man.
Daredevil first?
Absolutely.
I only saw like the first 2 episodes of Daredevil. Was it pretty brutal?
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. I thought I was the only one.
Really?
Seriously.
I just couldn't. Because it's too much. It's like, because people are like, because it drops, right? Right. So Daredevil drops and everybody's like, it's the greatest fucking show in the world. And everybody jerks each other off for the hype for it. Yep. And then in a month, nobody ever talks about it.
I haven't heard anybody talk about Daredevil.
It's been a while.
But when season 2 dropped, absolutely everybody was talking about Walking Dead. Same scenario.
Walking
I got a beef with The Walking Dead, though.
I do
bro.
too, actually. I do too.
How are you gonna do those half-season finales?
Well, I can kind of see it because they got to jump over the holidays and stuff, and then the Super Bowl they got to jump over that. My beef with it is one, they stray from the comic book like a lot, and they've changed so much with this attempt to be progressive. You can tell that they were trying to be the pioneers in certain rights of some sort. Like, I heard recently, like, I had stopped watching after season, I want to say it was season 5, half of season 5, going into 6. And I had just heard, that Rick, spoiler alert, everyone.
Oh, spoilers.
We're throwing the spoilers out
now.
there.
Mute now.
That Rick and Michonne are a thing. Yeah, and I'm like, come on, is this really, like, that did not happen at all in the comics whatsoever. So it's just,
well, like, isn't that now? Because I know that obviously The Walking Dead, it did stray from the comics, but is that good or is that bad? Or is it bad or is it good? Because I think it can be bad because it's just like every other movie or show that strays away, where it's like they're not following it at all. It feels like it's not the real thing anymore. It's just somebody else writing with the same characters and the same theme, or I'm sorry, the same area or whatever. But is that good? Because then the people who like it, you almost get a second story out of it, because it's still, as I understand, I've watched very, very little of The Walking Dead. I've been very much a third party in the whole thing, this whole Walking Dead. Yeah. Where is you get to watch the comics, and then you get rewarded for watching the comics by being able to watch the TV show where things play out differently rather than it being a totally different story.
Yeah. Right. Well, the thing is, it's the same writer. Like, they brought the writer of the comic book, and he's a producer on the show. So,
okay.
And he has said that he wanted to change things about it. Now, granted, I thought some of the things they changed, like in the very first season with the CDC, that did not happen in the comics. They never went to the CDC.
And what's the CDC? I remember
Center for Disease Control.
Okay, so they do go to the Center for Disease Control in the show?
In the show, yeah. In the comic book, they found a gated community, and they stayed in there. And I thought that was just, that's where like the famous line came where Rick goes, "We are the Walking Dead." That it came from that part in the comic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Did he say it in the show?
He didn't say it till like fairly recently, I think, that we are the Walking Dead. Like way down the line.
And everybody watching was like, "Deep."
Like we're waiting for the
so deep.
We're waiting for the line drop. Come on, just give it to us.
It's like in the Suicide Squad when Deadshot's like, "What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?"
Yeah.
And it's like, there it is.
Full circle. Done.
Done. It's like,
cue the credits. Let's go.
Yeah, and we're done here. And that's the paycheck.
I mean, I haven't really checked out like too much Walking Dead, but my whole idea behind just like shows in general, it's all like a business thing. At the end of the day, you have a network, and the network's who's allowing you to have your show on there. So if they're worried about like ratings and like all that other stuff, I'm sure that they're going to make small tweaks here and there to try to increase the viewer base. Kind of like what he was talking about with the whole, maybe we need to get the entire demographic out there. Like, aside from Comic-Con, most of the people that are going to be dressing up like the superheroes are going to be the little kids anyway. So they can't have it to be too graphic, like a Logan. They have to kind of tone it down and make it sort of like PG, but at the same time still appeal to like the hardcore fan base, the people who are in and out of those comic book shops on a day in and day out basis, spending paychecks and shit. Like,
you're right, you got to broaden your market out.
Yeah.
It's the people that you appeal to is such a niche market that you can't make money off of it. If you were to make a if you were to make a TV show that follows that comic book, because half the people who like that comic book, they don't want to see the show because they've already read the fucking book.
Exactly.
Why, you already know the ending. And then you're right, and you have to appeal to a wider market, so you do have to change stuff up to make it profitable. Which, I don't know about you guys, I think The Walking Dead's profitable.
Oh,
I think they did.
Without a doubt.
Just a little bit.
Mission accomplished. Now just write it over again.
Yeah, seriously.
So accomplishable that they made 2 shows. 2 separate shows.
Did they?
Fear the Walking Dead.
They have like a prequel now.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like a whole different story and everything, and it's like on its 4th season.
I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah.
It's like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen Better Call Saul yet, but I have seen Breaking Bad.
I've seen the first 2 episodes of Better Call Saul, and I was like, I feel like I could really like this. It's just I never got to sit down on it. Was it like it came on like a Monday night?
Oh no, I know that there's going to be a point in time. Like, I'm always late on shows, but like when I find that show, I just fucking binge, dude. Like, just have to binge. Like, Breaking Bad was like that.
Oh yeah, Breaking Bad. What a show.
Breaking Bad, I think, is a show, and I guess we should do spoilers. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Breaking Bad now.
Yeah.
Is that, if you guys are okay with talking spoilers, have you both seen it all the way through?
Yeah.
I've seen it all the way through.
I think everybody has now. Anybody listening should have seen it.
But we're still going to throw the spoiler tag out there.
Here, anybody listening, if you haven't seen if you haven't seen Breaking Bad yet, pause this, go watch it, come back, we'll be here waiting.
Seriously, it's worth it.
Okay, good, you're back? Okay, great, now we can talk. Thank you for coming back. It's been a week. That I think Breaking Bad is a show, it's like, what if you let the bad guy win? It's like watching a bad guy become formed. Because really it's all about perspective when it comes to good guy versus bad guy. But since, to loop it back around to comic books, is that the fight versus good and evil is all just a story of perspective. It's whoever's story that you're viewing it from, you consider that person the hero. And like really when you think about it, Breaking Bad, all of his actions are fairly justified now that you're seeing the backstory of why he's making those decisions. Yeah. He's got a shit life. His fucking son has this debilitating disease. His wife is a fucking cunt.
Damn.
And nobody appreciates him, and he's like such a smart guy, and he's so great.
He's dying from cancer.
Yeah, he's dying from cancer, and he drives the most stupid looking car in the world in the worst color.
But it defined him, I think.
It does. The cars of that show are, I think, one of the most underappreciated aspects.
Absolutely.
The fact that, what's the cop guy, the beat cop?
Oh,
his brother?
No. Where he goes, "Shut the fuck up, Walter." He's the cop, the one, Mike.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike.
Oh, he's not
Airman
Trout
or whatever.
Is he?
No,
he was a detective.
Yeah,
he was like a retired.
I used to do this. I used to be a beat cop.
Yes.
That's how I always remember him. He's the old beat cop. But I don't really know what else to call him except for like a henchman.
Yeah.
He's a fucking badass is who he was.
He's a fucking badass. Mike is my favorite character. But
yeah, he was great.
He drives Buicks through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Every car he drives is a Buick.
Yeah.
And Saul, he always drives Cadillacs.
Mm-hmm.
And like the cars... I know this is like things I notice when watching Breaking Bad is like, I'm like, man, what kind of car are they driving now?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like a wannabe gearhead.
Are they all American cars? Now that I think about it, like I'm starting to remember Walt Jr. had the Challenger.
Yeah, he got the Challenger.
Walt had the Chrysler 300.
Yeah, that's.
I don't remember what his wife was driving though.
She was like, it wasn't like not like a.
It was a station wagon, I think.
Was it like a Pontiac Aztec?
No, that's what he had.
That was he had.
Okay,
he had the Aztec.
But yeah, Pontiac.
But they had that.
Pontiac.
It's all American cars.
Yeah, they had the station wagon, which is GM. I believe.
What? This is crazy.
Oh shit!
We just figured out the biggest Easter egg of Breaking Bad.
Make America great again.
What? No. And there goes our clients. Well, I guess
Thank you for joining us today.
Well, I guess we're never getting those sponsorships.
Oh boy.
No, but like so like you see that like in Breaking Bad, he's just like his life is shit, so he does something about it, and it just totally fucks him over. But it's also he has this internal like superiority complex.
The tragic hero, the tragic flaw, I should say.
Yeah, he has it. Mm-hmm. So we could even see it's like who's supposed to be the hero? Like who is the anti-Walter? Except for fucking everybody. It's like everybody else is bad, but they're really just as bad as him. So he's not really a hero in it. So I think that Breaking Bad is a story about just watching a hero. I'm sorry, watching a villain be created.
Well, I think Jesse Pinkman would probably be more like an anti-Walter, because as it progressed, you kind of one thing I found interesting was at the very beginning, Jesse was like, "Oh, we should totally let's make meth, let's make lots of money because you make the greatest stuff," and Walt was like, "I'm a teacher, man. I got a family. I can't be doing this." And as the show progressed,
then he totally does.
He wants this money. He needs that. He progressively gets worse and worse. Whereas Jesse, he falls in love with a girl who has a son, and he actually starts to fix himself a little bit. And he's the hesitant one.
Oh,
the
yeah,
end.
I didn't think about that. The roles kind of switch.
Yeah, they progressively switch as, and of course they both had their trials throughout it that changed them in completely different ways.
It's all a metaphor for life when you think about it. If we didn't have different things in our lives that kind of drew us into that show, it wouldn't be so appealing. Like, think about Walt at the beginning and think about him at the end and how much he had that desire for money. It wasn't even really that money was the thing. It was security.
Right.
There was never enough money that was going to make him feel secure enough. So when he went, that Skylar and Walt and like his baby and everything, they were going to be good. It's a metaphor for life. Like, even when you're rich, everybody's still going for that next dollar.
Right.
To the point where, like, corporations don't really give a fuck about if you're sick or your baby's, ill or whatever. If you're not in that seat at that certain time.
Well, there goes our corporate sponsors.
Corporate sponsors.
Corporate sponsors.
Fuck the corporation.
Yeah, man, we got a bunch of corporate sponsors looking at us. So, guess we're gonna be grassroots forever. No, it's really interesting though. So the first section, our first segment that I want to get into is the "What You Working On It" segment. What you working on it? So this is where we just talk about, because I think a big part of being grassroots and just where we're going is everybody can be something, but it's where you're going.
Right.
What is the current thing that you're striving towards? And we're really interested in that on the show. Jimmy, you started off last time, so could you start off again? So, Jimmy, what you working on?
Well, I got a list of things, but I'm just gonna pick one thing. I've been trying to read up on the Sherlock Holmes series. I picked up like a volume of them. There's two volumes of the novels that are like thick as can be.
Wait, Sherlock the books or Sherlock's the show?
The books.
Oh wow, you're going old school.
Yeah, I'm going. I
haven't seen a book in ages.
I eventually do want to get into the show.
That's one of those. There's one of those tablets that you can use offline, right?
oh yeah. The little paper things that they call
the batteryless tablets.
Right.
Solar powered, I think.
Yeah, and the books they are a read and a half. Like, I find myself going back and reading like the same, I want to say, paragraph at least 5 times, trying to like put myself back with that old English, because it's
so they do talk pretty much.
A lot of it's old fashioned talk. Like, they, instead of saying family or bloodline, they say kin.
Ooh.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So but not full Shakespeare.
Yeah, we're not going where art thou. No, we're not going Shakespearean.
Where art thou, kin?
Yeah.
Dost thou want these hands? Thou dost not.
But like it's taking me extra long just because and I'll actually Google some of these phrases that they use because I just have no idea what they mean.
You're reading above your grade level, kid.
For real.
Okay, maybe I am. So that's what I've been working on for a while now.
So like when you read, for somebody like me who buys books because they look super appealing and then they just sit and collect dust. When you're actually reading, are you like reading to yourself in your head in like a specific voice or like a specific cadence? How do you retain the information? Because most of the time when I go to read, I forget the information. So I'm like, what's the point in even sitting down if I'm just going to forget it like 5 minutes later?
Well, it's a good question. I actually really loved the Sherlock Holmes movies, the ones with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. So as I'm and I watched those 2 movies at least 12.5 times because they were just that good. And I was like, you know what? I just want to read all of the stories. And so when I'm reading it, I just picture it like reading it. Because like the movies and the books are told as like a narrative from Dr. Watson, Holmes's companion. He's telling the story. So I read it in my head as if I'm Jude Law.
Oh shit!
Like his accent. When I visualize what's going on from the books, I visualize Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law in these stories.
Oh, gotcha. So you kind of have almost like a play in your head with you get to insert your own characters.
Yeah.
Personally, to help myself read is my internal monologue from my head is just like Captain Barbados from Pirates of the Caribbean. So I'm like, "Yar, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. What you doing on me, shit fish?"
Parlay.
Parlay fish.
Yo, I can't. Are they coming out with a new movie?
Yeah, it's coming out next month.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
shit.
It's the last one.
Hopefully.
I think
It's more of an expiration date.
I think Johnny Depp has said this is his last one.
Yo, Johnny Depp wants that paycheck.
Fuck yeah.
I'm actually excited about that. This new one. Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Gar. I there be 3 fish on me ship. Gar, what light be on you, Winder Blake? Well, Juliet is the sun. Or maybe I'm the sun. I don't know, I didn't read it. So speaking of, actually, it's funny that you mentioned like books, is I did pick up the complete works of William Shakespeare, because when I'm drunk, I think I have a way better reading level and way more patience than I actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So there I am, feeling buzzed in a Barnes & Noble, and I walk out with 3 Dr. Seuss books, the complete works of William Shakespeare, and a Pusheen notebook.
And your total was 98, 97, because that shit is high.
One question before you continue.
What?
Why the jump from Dr. Seuss to William Shakespeare?
Because I was like, you know what, I should... So the first time I ever had like any exposure to William Shakespeare was actually through a play called Shakespeare Abridged. And it's really just like a comedy play about the works of Shakespeare. I know, sounds super exciting. It was really funny. And I watched like the movie of it, and then I actually went and saw the play.
Oh, shit.
And ever since there, I'm like, and they make it accessible in the play so that you understand what's going on. And like,
Right.
It's still very funny, even if you haven't seen all of Shakespeare. But then I was like, damn, I saw that play like 5 years ago. I should actually figure out what the fuck they're talking about. And then I'm sure I'd like it a lot more. I'd have to go back and watch the abridged thing again.
Mm.
You totally just helped me realize like why I didn't like reading and why like all this makes sense. So like Shakespeare, my experience, my exposure to it was Macbeth in high school and Romeo and Juliet and shit like that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
read through Romeo and Juliet in like 9th grade. I was not with it. I was like, fuck this romance shit. And then in 12th grade, Macbeth, we were reading it, and then towards the end of the year, when nobody feels like doing anything, everybody's about to graduate, we got prom and shit to worry about, my teacher played the movie. And all of a sudden, Macbeth was like fucking exciting as shit. I'm like, oh, this dude is hard. Like, he's crazy. Like, yo, shit.
Macbeth's a thug.
Yeah, but if I would have visualized it the way that he's visualizing it, when I'm reading it, maybe it helps me, enjoy the experience a little bit more, put myself in there.
Yeah.
As one of the characters.
And really, when you think about it, you're not really supposed to read Shakespeare. They're plays. They're supposed to be seen.
Oh, okay. So you really have to visualize that.
Yeah. Now, Shakespeare, he didn't use a lot of staging. Like, he didn't, like, in the plays, he doesn't give, like, a lot of direction as to, like, where the characters are
Like the cues and stuff.
Yeah, the cues. And blocking. It's called blocking for stage. So there's really no blocking or no directions as to that kind of things.
Right.
So you kind of have to imagine it. And if you do the plays, they have to kind of work out how to do that, because there's not really a lot of direction. And that's another way it just makes it a lot easier. That's just something that Shakespeare just fucking omitted, that he was going to let whoever was putting the production on handle that. And that adds so much more to the story, because you realize this wasn't just a play to be read. There's supposed to be additional production behind that.
There's supposed to be a performance.
Exactly.
Damn, now I know why he's so fucking great.
Yeah.
Like some people, if you don't
Not to
truly
mention he created
understand
the dictionary, essentially.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
didn't know that.
I love it. Like,
He came up with most of the words.
There's a really great meme online, and it's like almost like the historical memes, where it's like memes, but it's like with pictures of like oil paintings,
Right?
like old school oil paintings. And one of them's like, it's like just a guy just like really offended, like looking at some paper, and it's like, William, what? You're just making up words. You can't do that. He's like, elbow? What the fuck is elbow? And it's just a picture of Shakespeare, and he's like, it's on your arm. It's the bendy bit. And it's like, he invented the word elbow. We had nothing. This was not a. What'd you call that? I'm sure they had like forearm, but
is it because it's like L-shaped?
Maybe.
Yo, elbow.
Elbow. It bows.
But how did he know that this was an L? Was like
the letter L was still around.
Okay, all right. So they had like because I know that like the alphabet evolved into a different thing over time. So
little known fact that Shakespeare had an addiction. He was hooked on phonics.
Oh shit! Damn.
It helped inspire him, like Jimi Hendrix.
I don't think he was hooked on phonics. I think he was hooked on a couple other.
A lot of other things.
So Sean,
what
you working on?
Oh man, I'm working on a lot of stuff right now. Working on helping out my boy with his new soap company that he's coming out with, Quantum Seeds, just developing all natural soap. I'm developing personally. I'm working on my music every single day, whether it's through my OP1 little small portable synthesizer I just got.
This is a big thing for you, this synthesizer.
Yeah, oh my God, dude.
I
brought it over. Oh my God. I brought it over. He brought out like the guitar. We had like a whole jamming session. And you would think just looking at the thing, it looks like it's just like a small Game Boy. Like it has little cartoon graphics and shit.
Oh, I guess my invitation got lost in the mail.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
Oh no, I just
into
didn't invite
music
you.
and shit?
I love music to death. I was learning to play drums for a little bit, but I just haven't really picked it up since then.
Why'd you stop?
I don't have my own kit.
Oh, man.
That's the thing is, I think that because
that's the hardest part for me.
Well, and owning a drum kit's difficult because it's so fucking loud. You have to get like an electric kit.
Yeah, I live in an apartment complex, so I can't and the electric drum kit's like twice as expensive.
I think you can get them for like $400 or something like that, which is about the price of a normal drum kit. Anything I think for drum kits, I think minimum is $400 for whatever you get across the board. Anything lower than that, it's pretty much like you're not going to actually want to play on it.
Yeah.
But so you have, because of course you made the intro song.
Yeah.
And you make a lot of music because you're on SoundCloud, and we have you linked in the description, and we'll make sure to link it in the description of this video.
I appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, no, definitely. But we want to make sure we give credit where credit's due, because like we've been listening to it a lot. Even before you came over, we had it like playing and like just kind of trying to get an idea of like what your sound is.
Right.
Now, how would you describe your sound if you could?
Honestly, my sound, the way that I would describe it, is if I just had a blank canvas and I was just sitting in the room and I just took a whole bunch of colors and just started throwing shit on there and kind of just start making a mess in a sense. Once I have that mess, I just find little pieces that I like. Because I don't have like a traditional music theory upbringing or anything. I didn't start out playing the piano as a kid. I actually really sucked as a kid. I had a keyboard when I was in like first grade. And I remember the keys, they lit up, and Fur Elise was the song that was like the thing that got me into music. It was like that. I thought that was so fucking crazy, but then there was like a next part to it, like that little middle section that they just go crazy on.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, wow. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. So when I create music, I kind of just put my own approach on it. I start out differently every time. I don't have like a set template or anything. I just kind of jump right into it. And then as I start to create, I'll find little pieces that I like. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll keep that, but I don't like this, so I'll take that out. And just constantly just throwing like a collage together. Like I think of it as like a mixed media art project. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I might want to cut out pieces of a magazine, throw it on the canvas, glue it on there. Maybe I'll take out some gel pens, or maybe I feel like taking a Sharpie on there. Maybe I just feel like taking a fucking torch to it and just, burning it to a crisp and then seeing how that looks. Because, I mean, like you were saying earlier, it's all about perception. Perception is key. So, if this is the way that I'm feeling, I might have some tracks that sound more angry than others. I might have some that sound more mechanical than others. And it's just kind of like a glimpse into where my mind is at that time. So I don't really think of it as like a song. I just kind of think of it as like a way for me to kind of get my emotions out, since I kind of, keep all that in on the inside. I don't really know how to express that kind of stuff.
It's a great way to channel how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Well put.
Therapeutic.
Very nice. I know. I would even describe your sound as it's almost like a minor chill step.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
If I do imagine
I completely agree with that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely got the feeling that when I'm listening to the music, I can feel where I'm at. I feel the environment that you want me to be in. And I think that's the most powerful thing that an artist can do, is to make its listener feel more engrossed in whatever you're trying to tell them. And I think that you very much communicate that well and very very vibrantly.
Appreciate that.
I was actually listening to it and I thought, this guy took this from a video game. This has got to be from a video game. Like I feel like this is music that's trying to tell me where I'm at, like trying to convince me that I'm in like a dark alleyway. It's music that's trying to convince me that I'm in this industrial setting. I'm in this factory, this running factory, as opposed to a factory that's not working, that's silent and it's echoey. This one is still echoey and it's moving and it's producing something. And I think it's great. Have you considered working with anybody that produces anything visual, like a video game? Like maybe
I would personally love to do it myself. I don't really know too many people who are like open to the idea of having like music to go with their visualizations or whatever. But honestly, at this point, I'm down to work with pretty much anybody who's trying to be positive, anybody who's just open-minded to new ideas and things like that. Like, obviously, if we start working together and you think that something sounds shitty, I want you to be completely open and honest, because when I'm making something, it's not just for me. It's like you said, it's to put you in some sort of environment. It's to kind of let you know how my thought process is, because I feel like I'm kind of different in the way that I think. Some people, when they think, they might just be able to go to a specific thought, pull it out like it's in some sort of drawer, retrieve it like it's their car keys, and then take off.
Yeah.
With me, I kind of just am going. I don't really know when to stop. So, I might be feeling a certain type of way. But going back to the visualization, I've never really worked with anybody personally, but I'm definitely down to the idea. I'm getting closer to that step where I can start learning how to do visualizations. And I've already been on YouTube researching stuff.
That YouTube,
there's actually a new instrument that's coming out by the same company, Teenage Engineering, that created the OP1 that I have, called the OPZ.
Oh, snap.
And it doesn't have a screen on it because your devices become the screen. So you could have a cell phone or a TV or a laptop, and that becomes your screen.
Oh,
so
wow.
As you're making the music, they have visualizations that are built in, and visualizations that you can create on the instrument. And it kind of goes in tune. Like, you can even have it tempo based with whatever your music is. Wow. Oh man, it's so neat. I can't wait for that to
Man,
drop.
they should be sponsoring this podcast, because you're talking this thing up.
Dude, oh my god, Teenage Engineering.
Watching that preview video just now.
Oh my god, love
Foaming at the
all
mouth.
of your products.
Heavy breathing.
Breathing heavily. Intensity intensifies.
Seriously, talk about music all day.
That's good. That's good.
No, that's awesome.
Well, good. I hope there's nothing you have to do for the next 12 hours. We're going to be cutting this down a lot.
A lot.
What if we just release a 12-hour podcast?
The Endless Podcast.
The endless episode.
It'll be like a charity event.
It will be.
Oh my gosh.
For every
Sponsored by
$10,
Twitch.
we will go for another hour.
People just donate constantly just to torture us.
Shit.
I like it. No, I think it's really great, and I think a little bit of networking and getting you out there to people that want to be part of a project, that's going to take you really, really far. Or at least I think that would be an interesting avenue to go to, because a lot of people, and like, you're on SoundCloud, and we all know, we see a lot of SoundCloud rappers, right?
Right.
And they're drowning each other out. They're all screaming at the same spot, and you can't hear anybody because there's just so much.
Right.
I think that by trying to go down alternate forms of getting your music out there, I think that's the way to go. Personally. Now, of course, like I said, we have a very, very small following here, but it's about finding that niche that nobody, that maybe isn't quite as filled with fame and glory,
Right.
Because if you put in the time, and I think this is true for anything, if you put in the time and you really give something your all, it'll take you much, much farther than wanting to do something to get famous or to get money, because that goes away.
Right.
Fame is not as good of a energy, as a positive energy, as I think just doing something that you like to do.
Right.
For music, it's deeper than that for me. Like, a lot of people do music to get famous. A lot of people do it because they love it and everything. I did music because it was the first thing I didn't give up on, honestly. As a kid, all I did was sit around, play video games, fuck around like most kids do, go outside and play, come in when it gets dark, go to sleep, wake up, go to school. I didn't do my homework, even though I lied and said I always did it. Like, that was just the kind of person that I was. Didn't really give a fuck about school, but I was always getting A's on the test. Like, teachers would always think I was cheating, but who was I cheating off of? Because whoever I was sitting next to was trying to look over at
You're plagiarizing off your future self.
Yeah,
I stole that from Watsky, I think.
Damn.
I love Watsky.
Yo, isn't he going to be at, like, Warped Tour or something random like that?
Is he?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is. You might have to look that
I'm
up.
going to go see him. I'm going to go see Watsky.
Yo, I would love to.
Yo, are you dead serious right now? Because I will go to fucking Warped Tour if you will go just because Watsky's
I'm not sure if I'll go to Warped Tour for Watsky. That's an expensive ticket, but I would like if Watsky was in the area, I would go get a Watsky ticket and go see that. No fucking questions.
Oh,
asked.
yeah. Totally.
Like no undercard or anything, like just straight Watsky.
I would watch
be
Watsky.
there?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
nice.
I saw like a few. I've seen highlights from his concerts, and it looks really, really cool. It looks like he really does try to like put on that show rather than just do his music and leave.
That's the worst thing ever.
Oh yeah.
When you love an artist, well, not like love an artist, but you love their music and everything,
I mean,
and
maybe
you
I
go
took
to
some
the
art sticks. I
show.
mean, whatever.
Oh my god, it's so disappointing. Like when the artist doesn't really care about being there like on time or doesn't really care about their performance, but you're so emotionally invested into their music, it kind of fucks you up in a way. Yo, like, not trying to put anybody on blast or anything.
Put them
like,
on blast.
I love this band, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. One year I was at Warped Tour, and I went to go see Of Mice and Men.
Oh,
and they were
shit.
supposed to come out at a certain time, and they didn't. Now, Austin Carlisle, he was going through
flaming
like all...
him.
No. He was going through like all sorts of like health troubles and shit like that. So at the end of the day, when you think of somebody as a musician, you don't think about like their personal life or anything like that. Just at a glance, you're thinking, oh, they're a musician, it's their job, they gotta be there, blah 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 blah. So I mean, it could have been for whatever reason. I didn't know what the reason was. All I know was we were out there. It was fucking pouring its ass off. We're out there, and everybody's cheering. But nobody's coming out. And you're just like, damn, I was so looking forward to this for like a good 5 to 6 months. And they only showed up for one song. And then they did.
Well,
What? They showed up for... They played one fucking song.
They might have played one or two. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
oh, man.
That's a big
Oh, we're talking
disappointment.
like a 35, 40-minute delay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wanted to ask a question regarding that. Was, you know, I'm sure all of us have been to that concert that didn't blow you away nearly what you hoped it would be, and then you've been to those concerts that just you were talking about for the next 2 years after, like the concerts that just blew you away. Whereas one artist that disappointed you live, one artist that blew you away and made you love them forever.
Ooh, that's
Like
a
an-
good one.
Oh, so you want me to actually like...
Yeah,
okay.
we'll
All
go
right,
around. We'll go
perfect.
around.
Okay.
You want me to go first? You want to go first?
You go first.
All right. So what is it? It's
A band that disappointed you live, as
Okay.
opposed to the studio versions,
all right.
and then a band who's better live than their studio version.
Ooh, that's tough.
Okay.
What band was better live? I'm not fucking sure. I will say, I mean, because it's easy for me to say, like, what was my favorite concert I've ever went to was my first concert ever, and that was a Green Day concert. I love them. I love fucking Green
Jealous.
Day. What?
Jealous.
Jelly? I went that because I saw them when they were doing their American Idiot tour, when they were on top of the fucking world.
Yeah, I did too.
American Idiot had like half that album was nothing but hits. And that was like the first album I ever bought with my own money as a kid.
Yes.
And then my mom took me to go see them live at, I don't know where. And I mean, it was fucking pyrotechnics and fucking Billy Joe, the main singer. He's like fucking running across the fucking stage back and forth. It sounded just like their album. Like they fucking got it still. And I never was more impressed with a band. And there has never been a concert that has ever reached that pinnacle for me. Now,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what band I was like disappointed in. You know what? It was probably the first time I saw My Chemical Romance.
Really?
Oh,
My
fuck.
Chemical Romance.
Wow.
The first time I saw them, don't get me wrong, they were good, but then you realize how. And I think the only reason that I was this disappointed was because I saw Green Day, and I had saw that was the best fucking concert ever. I'd seen a few concerts after that, and then I went and saw My Chemical Romance, and they didn't sound as good as their album. There was you could tell there was a lot of editing that gets done in the production studio, especially with the lead singer's voice. And don't get me wrong, I mean, you listen to the fucking album and you're like, how the fuck is he doing that? And then you see him live, you're like, oh, he can't do that.
Right.
You're like, that makes total sense now. That's totally their production. They're, I think, totally like a studio band. They're broken up now, which is probably for the better.
It's like seeing a model that's not photoshopped in real life. Like you see what she actually looks like, and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah. It's like, man, they did some brushing on her a little bit.
Yeah.
They did some doctoring.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me, that's what it was. I'm sure there's others. I'm sure I'll think of some more, but that's how I have. But yeah.
Well, band that definitely sounds a lot better live than they do on their album, and their album is fucking terrific. Both of their albums are terrific. But when I went to go see Volumes, it's like a metalcore band, Volumes, oh my god. like you were saying, when you listen to an album and you hear somebody's energy,
yes,
it's like one thing. But when you see like somebody, a metalcore singer, and you see all their fucking veins popping out, and you see the sweat dripping, you actually see like tears coming down and shit. Like when they get really personal, it separates it from
his eyes are fucking popping out of his fucking skull.
But it separates it from like people who are doing it for the money and the fame, and then people who actually care about what they are delivering to their audience.
Mm-hmm. Like it's like for them, it was like that's the first show they've ever done forever.
Yeah,
it's like you do the first show over and over and over again. You don't do the first, and then there's the other shows. It's you always do the show.
Yeah.
You're always there.
The show, absolutely. And it's got to be a show. Like it can't just be like it's just like another show. It's got to be that show. Like it's got to be the shit. And you could tell that when they come out, it's just like it's like fucking game time. But it's not like a job or anything. It's just like, yo, like we truly care about this genre. We truly care about the people who support us, the people who've been there since day one, the brand new fans. Like some people kind of like bash on the new group of fans. Like, oh, I used to like this band before all these mainstream people came in. And nah, man, it's not even about that. At the end of the day, it's about the music. If you like the music, if it just happened to touch you at this time period, it's just meant to be.
Yeah, no, very true. What about you, Jim?
Oh, I would have loved to have said Green Day because they are also my favorite band. Hey, remember I took you to a concert. I also took you to a second one.
R.I.P. Charlie Murphy.
But
Charlie Murphy.
Gotta acknowledge that, man.
Moment of silence.
Goodbye, darkness, my old friend.
Sorry to cut you off, my brother.
Charlie Murphy.
But I think to be different, or not the same answer, I'm gonna go with Linkin Park as like someone live. They are just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I've seen them live.
They're
fucking good.
They, Chester's like jumping up and down, running across the stage like crazy. They have all these like laser visuals going, and they have like a LCD screen. They got like the screen behind them showing a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I just remember one concert in particular. In the song, I did not think that there was this much like going into it, but like halfway through the song, they brought out like a whole like row of like drums. It was like a set of like 15 different drums, and like they had the bassist came up. Mike came up from the piano. Mike, who's the guy that raps.
Shinoda.
Yeah.
Mike Shinoda though.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the guitarist. They all came up and they all played a certain part of the drums.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
And like they were like boom 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 boom. And like it just looked really really
all in
cool.
Unison.
Yeah, it just looked, and like they're jumping around. Like I was like, this is amazing. And then on the other hand, a band I was actually kind of disappointed with, and Grant, I saw it towards the end of Tom DeLonge's time in Blink-182.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
It was Blink-182.
They gave a bad concert.
Well, Grant, Mark Hoppus had some voice issues, like he was, losing his voice, like he was going hoarse that night from singing. And
just so people, so you have Mark Hoppus, who's the bassist, and you have
Tom DeLonge,
and he's the guitarist.
He's the guitarist,
and then we have
Travis Barker on the drums.
Yeah, okay.
So
for the people at home that aren't familiar with Blink-182, people that essentially Patrick Starr, if he was ever to listen to this, because he lives under a fucking rock.
Exactly.
I must be Patrick Starr because I don't know the people in there besides Travis Barker, so I'm learning shit too.
Well, that's okay, but at least you've heard of Blink.
It's okay.
I've seen Blink too.
It's okay.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
We're white. We it's like ingrained in us to know Blink-182.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
We were born.
You should have seen the black people at Firefly fucking jamming out the Blink, yo.
Really?
It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all fucking ages, all colors, all fucking shapes and sizes,
The world's becoming a very diverse place. Just the other day, I went to a 7-Eleven and there was a white chick working behind the counter.
What the fuck?
I was like, damn,
that's unheard of.
Yeah, I was like, damn. And I think she was hitting on me, and I can tell I'm getting a little bit older because I didn't pick up on it until after I left.
Damn.
This is what happened. I don't mean to cut you off, but just real quickly. So I go into the 7-Eleven and I'm picking up cigarettes for my friend, and I was like, oh, I want these, da 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 da, and she's looking right at me. We're like parallel, looking right at each other in the eyes. And she goes, okay, great. She turns around and then bends over without using her knees, just presenting her ass to me. Like I'm at a fucking art gallery. And
nice.
I look at him and I just go, huh. And I'm like, that's not a good way to bend over. That can't be comfortable. And like not picking up on it. And then she pops back up, she turns around, she goes, and she has the biggest smile on her face. She goes, oh, here you go. Like, is there anything else you need? And I go, nope. And I'm gone. And I'm walking out to my car and I go, that was really weird. Why the fuck did she bend up? Oh.
Damn.
She was hitting on me. Like, it happens so little, I'm more surprised by it. I'm never aware that it's happening to kind of...
Well, was it that you were just oblivious to being hit on, or was it the fact that you were shocked that
she was a white girl at
that
7-Eleven?
it was a white girl?
It was kind of all of it. Like, I walked in, I was like, well, that's a little new. And then she, like, does that, and I was like, well, that's a little new as well.
Shit, after this podcast, you're going to have to tell me what 7-Eleven you went to.
Yeah, right? She was cute. I don't know.
She's doing magic tricks in there.
Oh.
Never with no knees.
I was like, her knees must hurt. didn't think about it. But I'm sorry. So you're saying about Blink-182?
So on top of Mark having his voice issues, they stood there and just sang. As soon as they got done a song, they cracked a joke, like one or two jokes, and then just went right into the next song and the next song.
No fanfare.
There was nothing. Like when they were like singing all that stuff, like they just stood there. There wasn't like any interaction going on. I was like.
And you're like, I paid $100 for this shit.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was just slightly disappointed with that. I still thought it was a great show just because, I love Blink-182 just as much, but their showmanship that night wasn't on par.
I thought of another one that I saw at Project Revolution years ago, but at the same time I saw Blink-182. I'm sorry, I saw Linkin Park. I saw him.
Oh,
disappointed.
Shit. Really?
Disappointed.
What about CKY?
I didn't see CKY.
CKY is going to be a warped. I've never seen them before.
Yeah, I've never seen CKY. But yeah, I watched him and it was just like, it was kind of the same thing, but it's just like, they're just kind of there. They play a few songs. It didn't seem like they were really into it. Kind of like what you were saying. It's like, you can tell when it's like, that's the show.
Yes.
Versus it's just another show.
Yes.
Right.
It's like, it's just another paycheck.
And I actually do think Green Day does a good job at that.
Yeah.
At making it like, this is the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely, they put that, right, that's the difference, is how much heart and soul do you put into every time you go out on stage. This is your 5,000th time playing in front of people, but for everybody in that audience, that's the first and only time they're ever going to see you.
Yes.
What's the impression that you choose to make?
Right.
And I'm sure being on tour, we always hear that how rigorous it is on tours when you're part of a band or you're an artist that's big.
Yeah.
That is that big. But there is that. It's like who can deal with that? Who can take all that, leave it behind, and just do the fucking show and be 110% every time and put their whole fucking being into it, and then who's just there to play the songs on pitch?
You just described Chester from Linkin Park. Like when you mentioned Linkin Park, dude, light bulb went off because Linkin Park is like one of the main reasons why I even make music.
Really?
Yeah. When my dad, we used to take road trips and shit, he had one of those vehicles where it had like the screen and everything that popped out. So he would throw in like DVDs. He had a system and shit in there. So like ever since I was like 3 years old, my dad's had a system in his car. And I remember I used to sleep on the subwoofer. So like bass and all that other shit, I've always been like attracted to, like
before
just
seatbelts
having
were thing.
some sort of, just having some sort of just like loud fucking, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, Rick Ross grunt.
Rick Ross grunt.
But no,
gosh.
We used to watch this documentary. I don't remember if it was a Project Revolution one or if it was like their live in Texas or whatever it was. But just watching fucking Chester's emotions and how he would put himself in the song. And how he would just be so fucking red in the face, dude. He would just be giving it his absolute all each and every night. And I'm just like looking at him like, how the fuck does he scream at the top of his lungs on a daily basis, like 40 tour dates and this one single tour? Like, how do they just passion, dude?
Yeah, it's tough.
Passion.
I don't know how they do it. Drugs.
Passion.
I'm pretty sure it's drugs.
Oh yeah, a lot of drugs.
Lots of
drugs,
them.
Lots and
alcohol.
lots of drugs.
Well, the thing with Chester that I like is at the same time, like he can express like how, his anger in his songs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like with their softer ones, like you can tell he's sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just as good.
Yes.
Puts that emotion into it. It's definitely great.
Yeah.
Mike too.
Oh
on
yeah.
the beats. DJ or Mr. Han. Mr. Han. Oh, Mr. Han. Yo, that's like one of my favorite tracks ever. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Linkin Park. Yo, going back to people who throw on like the best shows. I don't know if you guys are really into hip hop, but Travis Scott.
I'm not
best
familiar.
fucking shows ever.
Really?
Yo, he has a chain. His chain is a no bystanders chain. It's like one of those little, I don't know what the actual official name of the symbol is. What is the circle with the like line through the middle?
Oh, like almost like the traffic sign?
Yeah, kind of. Except
know.
It's not like turned sideways. It's kind of like a diagonal line.
Yeah.
But basically like a do not something.
Yeah, it's red and it has the white circle and then the white slash going through it.
Yeah, well, it's like a person on fire, no bystanders. And his sense of like a show is almost like a metal show. Like fucking mosh pits going everywhere. He's jumping in the fucking crowd. He has people from the crowd jumping on the stage, jumping off the fucking stage back into the crowd.
Right.
When I went to go see him at Made in America, he jumped into a fucking tree. Like, fucking performing inside of the fucking tree. Like, yo. If like, I ever do a show, that's what the fuck I'm
fuck the show, I'm getting me some fruit.
Yo. Insane.
That was, man, that's what Watts keeps missing. If Watsky has a tree at his show when we go see him, that's it. I know what's happening that
Done.
night. I'm going to go see it. So I want to get into the next section of the podcast. It's called the Ask Reddit section. What I did is I took questions that on the popular site Reddit, there's a subreddit called Ask Reddit in which a anonymous user or a user asks a question to the entire community, and we get some interesting answers. We also get some really interesting questions. So I want to take the time to kind of ask you guys these questions, get your feelings on them.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hit me.
Okay, so this comes to our first question, and there's no particular order. Like I kind of just picked the ones that I think that we could relate to the most. This question comes from user Pushing Daisies 21. This question is, what is the pettiest reason you won't date someone over? And to kind of start things off, these were some of the top answers that were put on there, just to give us some fuel. One of the answers comes from the user 37-pieces-of-flare. And they said, broke up with a guy because the way he ate salad made me uncomfortable.
Oh, shit.
He was pretty much attacking it, chewing it with a lot of fervor, and watching me while he ate.
Oh.
And that ended it. How about you? That would do for me.
Yeah, I don't know, like the watching while you're eating part.
That's probably what
made direct eye contact.
I mean, great. Hey, he must have really loved his salad, but to watch someone else while you're eating the salad just gives it a whole degree of creepy.
You're like, you know what to get him for his birthday. You know to get him like a gift card to Salad Works. But you're not gonna go with him because it's fucking terrifying. It's like if I saw a girl like not like making eye contact with me and like doing that but with a hot dog.
Yeah.
That would be terrifying.
Yo, I don't know, man. I seen some chicks do some stuff with some hot dogs.
No, but I mean like destroying a hot dog on a hot dog.
Like
making velociraptor sounds.
Yeah.
And then just like not making like angry eye contact with you while you do it. Nope, no blow job
fuck
that night.
Nope, none.
Nope. Suck the skin off you.
So what's Petty's reason that you won't date someone over?
Honestly, would probably be just table manners, just manners in general.
Manners?
For me. Yeah, like if you're sitting at a table and you're like smacking your lips like obnoxiously loud, like chewing really loud.
Yeah.
That really, but I don't want to hear I don't want to hear that chewing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it's almost like a pet peeve.
Yeah,
like anything that's like a pet peeve.
Yeah, it just gets under my skin a little bit.
Are these petty reasons? Because this, like, I don't know if I'm like petty or what, but like these sound like some pretty valid reasons, man.
Yeah. Well, I guess to you it's a valid reason, but like what might seem petty to like other people.
Yeah.
Me personally, I know, and you're right. I think this goes along with like politeness, and this has been said a lot, but I never realized people did this. Is if you're not nice to like waitstaff.
Oh yes.
Like the second you get rude or you get angry, you can't control your anger. That's what it is. If you can't like keep yourself under control, like in public or just in general, it's game over. Because the problem is then you end up like apologizing for that person if you don't feel like they're in the wrong, or if you feel like that your person,
and then you're embarrassed because of your guest.
Yeah, and they bring you into a situation that they escalate out of nowhere, and you're like, I don't want to be in here. But then you kind of need to defend that person now, because it's like that's the person that you're with, and you're trying to get laid that night, so you got to play along.
Been there.
That'd be one. What about you?
Pettiest reason for me, honestly, if she's like a Cowboys fan or like a Red Sox fan or something like that, if she's a fan of like the rival team, I don't know if it's gonna work, man.
If she's
like,
Marvel and you're DC,
I would say that like we have to already be dating or something. Like we have to not have that conversation. That's the only way it's gonna work out, because if I just find out that, or I don't know if it's really petty, but if she smokes cigarettes,
that's a good one.
I can't do that one, man. I can't do it, because then you smell like that when I'm just around you, trying to cuddle up on you, and then all of a sudden, nah, I can't do it, man.
And I'd say with cigarettes, that smell stays with you. Like our sense of smell is so strong, or it's like one of our most memorable senses. So you can smell something, and then like 20 years later, you smell the same thing, and it comes right back. That memory.
That strongest sense of memory, yep.
Yeah, really strong sense of memory. So, like, you date someone that smokes, like, one type of cigarettes, and then you break up with them 10 years later, and then you're, like, in a restaurant or you're out somewhere and you smell that, you're like, I remember Jessica.
Yep.
You're like, you get, like, half a chub.
Damn, half a chub.
Yeah, you Pavlov yourself. Yeah, you're like, you're sitting there, you're like, those Pall Malls? God damn it!
100s.
And Pall Mall 100s.
Oh my god. Green pack.
That's a good one. Another person said, this was Major DMG 89.
Edgelord.
Says, she would constantly try to finish my sentences for me. Sometimes not even sentences, but words. So, like, when you're like, we finish each other's sandwiches. Like just constantly talking. I feel like it's like talking over top of somebody.
Right.
But like talking over top of them for them.
It's like real life Mad Libs.
Yeah.
It's just like throwing in the
It's like when Google tries to finish your sentences too. Like when you type it in.
Here's another one. This is a different question. This is, I love the username, Hunka Hunka. What social custom can just fuck right off?
Whoa.
Another one. This person said, this was user Trek_in_spats. They said, telling people no. I just hate the custom that I am simply expected to say yes to every request. That to say no to something is, like, rude. That's like conflict that you're creating.
Yeah, it's confrontational.
Right. Yeah, which I totally agree with that. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the fucking mall.
Oh, you run into all kinds of shit at the mall.
You walking around, someone's like, would you like to try this? And I'm like, oh no, thank you. Are you sure? Fuck off! I go from really polite to nothing.
See, I wouldn't even just say no. I would just punch him in the mouth.
Just punch him in the mouth.
Dude, that
would you like to try this?
Clearly language isn't doing it.
That literally like ties in with the next one that I was gonna say.
What is
social ones that need to just like fuck off. The customer is always right. Like in that sort of sense, wouldn't the customer always be right? As in the sense that you're the worker, you're the person who's giving out the sample. You ask the customer if they want the sample, they say no. Conversation's over. The customer's always right. They're the customer. They say no. That should be conversation is over.
Conversation over.
The flip side, when you know that the customer is dead fucking wrong and you can't tell them that they're wrong because of like whatever policy it is or whatever like that.
Yeah.
That's when it's kind of like a grayish area. That's where I think it kind of needs to fuck off.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, because all the customer, that like customer's always right kind of thing, that is, I'm sure there's a lot of examples of it where like it does make sense, especially for like smaller companies, but it gets abused. The customer is always white. Always. When the customer is always white.
Oh boy!
When Porky Pig is a suit. That's all.
Nah, I think you're absolutely right there. I think it's just like a change in the world. Like when they first came out with the customer is always right. I don't know when that slogan came out, but I always think back to like shows and things like that because I didn't really live in different decades. I can only go back off of other people's interpretations or other people's memories. I think about when people talk about stores in the 70s, like small businesses and stuff, like you would have your mom and pop shops where, you know, everybody would be cool with each other. Like you were on like a first name basis with the store manager.
I miss those stores.
Yeah, like what happened to that kind of shit?
Yeah.
When they had like the small mom and pop video shop or the record store is the best example, in my opinion. The record store, you talk to the person who's behind the counter. They tell you what kind of music they like. You tell them what kind of music you like. You kind of go based off of that. Try out a couple things here and there. You might not like everything, but what happened to that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you're right. It was when communities kind of relied off of each other.
Yes.
So now we buy things from Amazon and we buy things offline from people that we've never met before. So, and the stores that are being opened aren't from people in the area. It's from people that come out of the area that are implanting themselves into the community. So right. You don't have that personality, that connection with the community. You can build that, and absolutely, there's nothing wrong with being a corporation. By definition, a corporation is just a type of company.
Yeah.
But what it turns into, it's this global outreach.
Right.
And to insert yourself into everything, even if you don't belong there.
Maybe it's our connection to the digital world. Because if you think about it, like, if you're in a room and it's any sort of silence, the majority of people, they'll go look at their phone.
Yeah.
See what's going on. Because silence is uncomfortable. It's just like that tension, like...
Yeah, but people used to do that with books and the newspaper before that. Like, we've always had ways of distracting ourselves, right, so we don't have to talk to people.
Right.
But then again, then you think of the flip side of where, okay, we're always in our phones, but at the same time, there's going to be somebody listening to this. The noises that we're making right now are going to go into a computer and that are going to go into a fucking satellite. I'm sorry, that are going to, that's cell phones, but that are going to be connected to thousands upon thousands of computers across the world. And there's a potential that somebody from another part of this country or another country that is going to listen to that couldn't have if we didn't have this amazing network.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say that it's a brilliant invention. There's always positives and negatives to everything. Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah, definitely. I see where you're coming from.
The fact that I can take a picture of my sweaty ass cheeks and send them to my exes to piss them off with the push of a button in my own home.
That's like 14 megapixels of ass cheeks.
Yeah, with a high definition camera, better than the cameras that we've had for the last fucking century.
Seriously.
4K ass cheeks.
HDR.
See, every sweat droplet drip down.
If they want to see those ass cheeks, they can project that onto their fucking 4K TV. And put it as their fucking background on their computer.
Dude, put that in the fucking PowerPoint for the next office presentation.
Yeah, it's like, and this was my motivation to stay at work another 20 hours, was Dave's ass cheeks. Clearly it was hot that day.
It's like making photocopies of the ass cheeks like they're doing all the shit.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful time we live in.
Things were so simple back then.
Simpler times.
Simple times.
But then you could argue that times are simpler now since there's a plethora of information out there.
True.
Any sort of question that you have.
It was simple because we were kids at the time.
Yes.
We didn't have anything going on.
We just fucked around.
Yep.
So can I talk to you guys about this one thing? So since we only record podcasts once a month, we kind of have to backtrack as to what happened the previous month. I want to talk about the greatest April Fool's joke that I think... What wins the top April Fool's joke this year? 2017. I think it was Pornhub.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
So Pornhub, what they did is, if you watched a video on Pornhub, people that don't know, Pornhub is a website to watch pornography. Welcome to the world. And you would watch a video, and then a message would pop up saying that it had automatically shared that video to Facebook for your convenience.
Stop.
Now it didn't actually do that, but it was April Fool's joke. That's gold.
Oh my god!
I would have just deleted myself from life. Fuck that.
Oh, I'm deleting everything now.
Oh,
everything.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Grandma,
bad.
I'm sorry you had to see that. I'd have been Thailand real quick. Oh shit.
I wish they would have waited until you got to a really, really deep category. Until you got into that really fetishy shit, and then didn't pop
the
up
dark
on the
part.
first one.
You can call it.
It's it wasn't until midget fisting. That every time that anybody clicks on that fucking midget fisting video. I'm sorry, what's the proper name for midgets?
Little people.
Dwarfs. The dwarf fisting. I'm sorry. I want to be politically correct when we're talking about dwarf fisting. I'm sorry. Dwarf fisting.
Wait, isn't there like two names then? Because I thought like a dwarf goes up to like a certain height and then they become like something else.
I don't know. I'm actually the world's tallest midget. Did you know that?
Yo, I didn't know that. Holy shit.
So, the more you know.
The more you know. Who else had a really good April Fool's Day? Did you guys see any good April Fool's stuff?
I saw one last year that pissed me the fuck off. It was from Mass Appeal's YouTube channel, and they do these videos called Rhythm Roulettes where, like, they'll take a musician who's a producer, they'll go to the record store, they'll be blindfolded, they'll pick out, like, 3 records, and then they'll have to sample from those 3 records. And they can use their own drums and things like that, but it's really interesting. There's a rapper, MF Doom, who's, like, one of the largest rappers of the underground, super technical guy, like, when you think of old school hip hop or, you know, just regular hip hop, he's the guy you would think of. So when this comes out on April 1st, his Rhythm Roulette video, we're like, oh shit, everybody's been waiting for this. Because they've had artists on there who were like pretty famous, but this is like a totally different, this is like Christian Bale versus like Christopher Walken.
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So he's a big deal.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
Big fucking deal.
Yeah.
They had him walking down the fucking street. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the video at like 3 minutes and 40 seconds, April Fools.
Oh.
And then they play like some old fucking music of his. And then they just like
that's fucked
fucking
up.
Troll you. Yeah.
See, that's...
Oh, fuck my whole day up. My whole day.
Right? Because that's like, I would have really liked to have seen that content.
Yes.
It's almost like, it's like you kind of took the trust away. That's fucking funny. It's like funny, but like in a fucked up way. Like, it would be cool if then they would have released the real video the next day.
No.
That I would have been okay with that.
No. We haven't really seen much since. Because he's kind of like a mysterious guy. So, I mean, he's come out with a few tracks here and there. They're pretty good. But, you know, we're still itching for that video.
Oh, you know who also did really good? Another one for Reddit. Sorry, I have a lot of Reddit stuff today.
Oh, I love Reddit.
So, they did something called Our Place. And the idea was that everybody that had a Reddit account, there was this giant blank canvas, and you could submit 1 pixel of a color into that blank canvas. This is a giant piece of blank canvas.
Wow.
You know, digitally, of course.
Right.
And there's a timer that, and once that timer resets, then you can place 1 more pixel. And what ended up, and this timer was adjustable depending on the circumstances.
Right.
So like it went from like 5 minutes to like up to 20 minutes. So you could only place 1 pixel. And subreddits started to get into this. So you had groups of people creating images.
Oh shit!
This pixel art, and this thing was so huge. You had like these like pixel wars going on of like these subreddits like battling for this one space.
Oh my!
There was like Germany versus France.
Damn!
And, like where people were making the flags.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And in the end it made this beautiful piece of art, and that was like their April Fool's thing. I'm not sure what the fuck the joke was supposed to be, but it turned out.
I feel like that was a productive thing to do.
Yeah, but it went from April 1st to I think April 3rd. That's when they shut it down.
Oh wow!
And so you can go and you can still look at it and like see like all this art that people have made.
Wow!
Somebody even cleaned it up so that it's like a little bit more like all the abstract pixels that didn't make any sense.
Right.
They took those out and like color coded everything, and it was fucking awesome.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Why would that be a joke?
I don't know what the fuck the joke was.
For a 2-day period, everybody comes together and cooperates.
Yeah, well, they didn't.
Nothing goes wrong.
Well, it was cool because like you got to see like this like rise and fall where it's like, okay, we're all just random. Okay, now like let's all work together, and it's like, wait, we all have different ideas, so now we're gonna like challenge those ideas with each other, and then eventually something wins out, and then it freezes.
Well, we realize as human beings that we can't do it all ourselves, so then we figure out through logic that we need to work together. If you have enough people on your side, then you have like a France versus Germany kind of thing. That's kind of sick that it went like to that extent.
Yeah.
Like country versus country.
That's funny.
Yo, Reddit is something else.
I love Reddit.
Oh yeah,
Reddit's great.
It's a great place.
I didn't realize that because like I have an account and I have like the subreddits that I want on my front page. I didn't realize they kept adding subreddits to put onto the front page, but my front page stayed the same. So, you know, like, you have, like, a default subreddit?
Yeah.
So, like, if you go into Reddit, it's, like, there's no, like, quote-unquote front page subreddit, or, like, it's just, the front page is just a culmination of different subreddits.
Like, R all, right?
Yeah, like, R all, and, you know, you have, like, R funny, you have R all, R pics.
Yeah.
Like, those are all default subreddits, and the top posts of those subreddits go into the front page. So that keeps updating as to what is the default subreddits. And then I am logged in, and I have my own custom set of default subreddits, but mine doesn't update. So I went onto Reddit without logging on, and I'm like, this is, like, way better. It's been updating this whole time.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I've like, to backtrack the last 6 months of fucking Reddit because I missed it.
That's, like, the problem with all of my social networks that I'm into right now. Reddit and YouTube specifically. I have all of these things that I already like, but when I have the idea of, hey, I should search for this on YouTube, I just forget it. So I end up just watching the same old stuff, and I get to those points where I'm not logged in, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so much better. Maybe it should be like, do you remember Stumble Upon?
Oh, yeah, Stumble Upon.
It should be like Stumble Upon in the sense where you can kind of like click on stuff, and then like you have this interest, and then you can just go to the next interest.
Yeah.
Into the next, into the next, into the next. And then
Just
you
be
can
jumping around.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about time to wrap up. I think we did a pretty good job. Sean, thank you very much for joining us on here today.
Appreciate it, man.
If people want to send you love or check you out on social media, where can they find you?
You can find me on a couple different places. Most of the time, you know, you can add me on Snapchat, ice cream cones or ice cream scone, however you would like to spell it, but it's ICECREAMSCONE. If you guys want to add me, everything else, Twitter, Instagram.
What's your Twitter?
At Bahumbolt, BAHUMBOLDT. Hit me up.
Right on. And Jimmy, where can they find you?
Yeah, you could probably find me best on Instagram, which is JimboSlice_26. That is JimboSlice_26.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at Sultan Shockley, or on Instagram at King Shockley. King Shockley. You can also email the podcast with MaximumMediocre@gmail.com. Thank you very much for joining us. I do hope you enjoyed it. And stay beautiful, everybody.
Yes. Yeah.